Hello, dear light workers. How bright is your light today, yesterday, now? How bright is the light of your being, your beingness, which is light? How bright is it right now? How much aware are you of your true light inside? I know it's not something we often spend time with, but it's not a bad focus to turn your attention in and just start sensing your own light. And I'm not saying that you necessarily see light. You may, I don't. Sometimes I do, but it's kind of it's like very fine, but it's definitely light. And at the same time, it's dark. It's kind of a funny thing, isn't it? But when you get out of duality, of course, then you can have it, then you realize it's all one. So I don't make a big deal out of it. But the more we the more we allow our true light to shine, not that you have to it's not one of these dimmers or something that you can just do it as you please. It is something that you become aware of. And the more we become aware of our true light, it just naturally shines. It always shines. But if we are not aware of it, again, I've said it before, it doesn't do you much good because, at the core, we are light, we are love, we are the divine. But if our focus is out there, what good does it do that you're shining? And of course, because your attention is out there, it's not here as as a portal for that to just shine through just by being it and just by being aware of it. And it is so in a way it's super simple, but it's been so complicated because we have been programmed to believe that we're bad and not good enough, and yeah, that heavy duty stuff. And that's what we're still twirling or swirling around in, and that stops us from paying attention to the light. Now, in my own experience, I have noticed that the more I spend time rest back into abide in my true light, my true divinity, my I am presence. To me, it's all the same. To you, it may be different. I don't know. We find our own expression and how by going inside, you become aware of these things. And when I say when you go inside, it is when you turn your attention and do this inquiry. It's like you instead of having your attention out there, you turn your attention around, and since you are light, you start shining light on yourself, on your true self. And that's really what the whole spiritual journey, at least for me, is about, is to really realize who I truly am, not as Pernilla or, my roles, my beliefs, my whatever, but as my I am presence, my light, my soul connection. Again, when it happens, there is a real experience of it where you go, oh, there's kind of a deep breath, a resting, a letting go, relaxing. There's a little click that happens. And I remember Joel Goldsmith would always talk about, when there's a click or a deep breath. And that is very much something I'm aware of. And then I know that, okay, I'm here now. There's a shift. And then it's really nice when we start trusting that we can just hang out here a little more and make ourselves more available for that. Now, when I turn my attention back on who I truly am, I I become more aware of the layers that I had identified with, but that's not who I truly am. And that is what happens the more we focus on the light that we are by removing, dissolving these layers that have been covering our light. The more they disappear or dissolve or vanish, then there's more light available for our attention. This light, when we turn it in, it becomes aware of more and more of these layers. If we only have a very little bit of light that we are aware of in ourselves, it's all there, but it's again, how much have we realized? How much are we aware of? So when there's just a little bit, it's like a tiny little flashlight. It's just a little bit, and you can just see a little bit in there. It's like, oh, what is that? I can see there's some darkness there. What is it? And that's how it is for many of us in the beginning. And we can't stay there very long because the light is not very strong. So we can see something, we're not quite sure, and maybe we lose interest quickly. But if we stay with it and do it with somebody whose light is bigger, that can help shine deeper inside, just for inquiry, then you will become aware of it more yourself. And that's like when the light in us grows in our own awareness, then we are able to see more inside and out too. I mean, it is all the same, but we are still living in a 3D world. But you can just become more aware of all the things that are unlike itself, that are unlike light, that are shadows or darkness or lack of light. You'll become aware of it. And then over time, when we learn to use this light of awareness, which is another name for it, when we learn to use it to shine that on the parts of us where we know we're not fully aligned yet, then we need to learn to do that with love, not with judgment or with criticism or with shaming, which most of us do in the beginning because there's not quite enough light available. And so the darkness that is used to judging ourselves and shaming ourselves, that may still have the upper hand. But as the light starts shining more on these patterns, the light does not judge. The light does not criticize. The light is aware of. It allows. It doesn't have to do anything. It's light. It's just light. It's just shining on the darkness. And the more we are able to stay with that light and not go over in the darkness and judge ourselves, then the love of the light of the light will simply start dissolving them without you having to do anything with it. So it's learning to stay present in our light. And that takes time. Trust me, that there's all these layers of, where we judge ourselves, we hate ourselves, we are ashamed of ourselves. Those are the ones that have been in charge. So it's almost like we need to learn first to melt through these judging parts of ourselves so that we eventually can meet the same parts and other things. So it's learning, it's kind of a back and forth, learn to love these parts that have not been loved, learn to love these parts that we have been judging, and then come back and rest in and as the light. And then that light will just shine more and more, and over time it gets easier to not judge the darkness or try and get rid of it or fix it. You just learn to stay in the light of the presence of your light. And and it knows exactly what to do. So it doesn't happen overnight for most of us. It certainly didn't for me. And there's still times if there's some deeper patterns that, we all have some deeper patterns that don't just go even after a long time. So it's learning to just more and more not jump in there again and do something with them, but it's always staying in the light that we are. So, and the more we stay in that, the light will just naturally dissolve the darkness. It just shines. And the more we stay in the light, the more of our energy is here. That means the light shines brighter. And that brightness of the light will even start dissolving the deeper core material that has been very tight and very familiar, right? Very hard to disidentify from. So if I may invite you, if you are a light worker or a way shower or anything else who is here today on this channel, that there's something in you that is touched by something or curious about something, that is probably because your light is kind of trying to get you to pay more attention to it itself. And then many times it can be helpful to be with others, to go on a retreat, to meditate, to listen to YouTube channels where that's the focus. And then little by little, it just becomes more natural to just stay here and not touch it, but just learning to trust. Trust is a big piece of it too. Learning to trust that the light indeed does dissolve the darkness. It's unavoidable. And we know that because light and darkness in this dimension, that's what happens, right? You open a door to a dark room and the light comes in and the darkness doesn't even exist. So darkness is basically a lack of light. So the more, we're not going to bring light to it. No, we just stay in the presence, in the stillness, and learn to rest in that, in the knowing. That's been important for me over all these years. Like in the knowing, in the trusting that my light, my I am presence, my divine connection, my soul connection, that knows what to do. Or shall we say, what to be, if I just get out of the way and let the light be what it already is. So, my friends, let's be the light. Let's go more into our light. Let's spend a good amount of time there every day. It may just be, in other words, is stillness. I am. You might listen to one of my meditations on I am, where I help you separate yourself from your I am presence. These are the places we can rest in. And the more we do, we simply become portals of light. And then the rest is up to the light. All right, my friends, be well.